Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your pal Flix here, and today we're going over a lot. I still won't forget about that date they robbed half my intro. Why you do this, Overlord Holly? We have to say that because it doubles our watch time. I mean, what? We're going over Nukes and Sylvanhand in Night City after the trailers. Good luck making it out that again, Flix. And what it means for Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, as always, if you enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for my daily top quality content. Now, before we get into absolutely anything, when you talk about a scene in the Styles trailer, which I talked about in the Things You Missed video, you should 100% check that out. I spent a lot of time on that. But in the general community of Cyberpunk 2077, the side of it being a brain dance of Johnny kind of rose. The little scene with the what I believe are painted windows of a nuke going off. The entire theory is based off the little nuke windows going off behind, so here's the issue with this one. In the lore that we know right now, Johnny would have been dead by Adam Smasher before the nuke actually went off. Let's say you muddy the waters there and, kind of mix it up, we could say. The nuke went off in the Arasaka Tower, not outside of it. So Johnny can't be being beat up in the tower and seeing a nuke going off outside. Those are painted windows in memorial, in remembrance, pretty much. They've shown a lot of Arasaka remembers, Arasaka memorials already. So this perfectly fits with that theme. But yeah, the timeline's Johnny dies, then the Morgan, Blackhand, the famous solo with Militech, and Adam Smasher, the Arasaka Abomination, start fighting as the tower is going down around them as a result of the nuke going off. And that's it for confirmed lore. Nobody knows what happened afterwards. Speaking of nukes, I had people tell me yesterday there's a YouTube with 500,000 subs that for some odd reason doesn't even have 2 brain cells, but has half a brain cell. I never thought you could get below 2 brain cells. I thought they came in a pair, but apparently you could have half a brain cell now. That thinks you could detonate a nuke in the middle of the game. I want you to think about that for a second. Just think about that. Form your own conclusion. Now, we'll talk about it. I actually don't know who it is because, like I said, I don't watch other Cyberpunk creators, and I'm glad I don't right now. How do you get to where detonating a nuke mid-game and mutants? First of all, no, you're not getting mutants. The fact that he thought that nukes are what caused mutants in Fallout shows he has no idea about what even Fallout even is about. Just a quick little side note, we'll talk about what the creatures Fallout. Most of the creatures, the larger ones in the Fallout series, are a result of testing with the forced evolutionary virus, FEV, and the nuclear radiation, obviously. But most of it is the FEV, so nukes don't cause the mutants in the Fallout series. Who would have thought, right? Second, there's in the Cyberpunk universe, there's actually anti-radiation cyberware in the actual lore of the game, because there was kind of a nuke detonated in the heart of the corporal center of the city. People adapted and learned to live with radiation in the overflowing areas. So there's and obviously society rebuilt, Night City rebuilt after a while, which actually parodies our own, actual real world, life went on after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which were, in case people don't know, I really enjoyed history in class years ago. Those were what ended the Second World War. So there's that mutant theory destroyed. Now for the city getting nuked, people are taking marketing too literal again. Just because marketing keeps saying we got a city to burn, V, doesn't mean you're bringing about nuclear Armageddon. Now, there is a nuke still in Night City in the lore. There's still a very large nuke, larger than the one that originally destroyed the Arasaka Tower, buried underneath the rubble of the Arasaka Tower. Because the entire thing was, it was true, Arasaka did have a failsafe in case they ever lost the tower, which was destroy everything. Because, you don't want your enemy getting a hold of your confidential information, right? It's better to destroy it than actually get a hold of it. But it wasn't Arasaka that detonated their nuke. It was Militech's little strike team that ended up destroying it. So if you are going to make an argument that one of the endings has the detonation of a nuke, I tell you that you're free to your own theories. Really, maybe it could happen. Personally, I doubt it though, just because it could. It would be a copy and paste of the story of Cyberpunk 2020, really. Arasaka, bad guy, Militech attack, nuke detonate. It's a cycle, right? But still, it could happen. Now, if you say you, the character V, detonates a nuke in the mid game, and I quote, apparently this is what he said. He said he detonates the nuke to change game. No, he said CD Projekt Red would allow V to detonate a nuke to change gameplay up. Then you just don't understand the environment of the game. You don't understand the human nature, and you don't understand games. I'd be surprised if you ever played a game actually at that point. Arasaka was originally blamed for that nuke incident, the one in past Cyberpunk 2020, the one that ended the fourth corporate war, the one between Militech and Arasaka. And what happened was they were out of Night City pretty much. They're out of the entire U.S., the new United States, actually. Not the U.S., it would be the new United States, for decades, actually. Not including the death of Saburo's eldest son, which also contributed to ending the war to some extent. So you detonate nukes, you detonate a nuke and everyone's going after you. There would be no more getting friends to save yourself. Then they'd have to also remove all the quests in that area, all NPCs, pretty much remove a seventh of all their content in the game, because the nuke is larger than the one, if they used the nuke that was underneath the Arasaka tower, the rubble of the Arasaka tower, the one that was already destroyed, that would probably destroy the entire corporal center pretty much, which you're removing nearly an entire district, because nuke, and to change gameplay up, I'm gonna destroy a seventh of my creation. And third, they have to rebuild that area in a nuclear rubble, so then it would kind of be like an entire change of a district. I don't know. This just got me pretty triggered. I mean, yeah, speculating about things is fun. It's fun and fun, but going that far, it's just stretching. It just stretches so far. It's setting you up for disappointment at that point. Not me though, cause I'm not really the destroy it all down person. I'm more the rule it all type of person. But I mean, even if you want to take the "we got a city to burn" V literally, you're not literally burning down the city, because that destroys any real location for a sequel. And it pretty much redacts all the lore, all the work you've put into Night City, because the city would, burn down. Burn it all down? It's more of you can think of it as a cultural revolution to overthrow the hierarchy, or you're overthrowing the corporations. That's kind of what it is. That's what Silverhand's about, right? To give the power to the people instead of the corporations, obviously. So that's what he means. But if you take that literally, that is what he means. He does not mean to burn down the entire city. He just means revolt against the corporations, which we did see. Which I like. If you want to make an argument for it, we did see in the Styles trailer up in the top, where I was saying, we're hinting at kind of a fifth corporate war with stolen petrochem assets, relocation of that, and the peace. The pro blank tests against the corporations. Ouch, we just destroyed 2 theories on nukes. Y'all are Gandhian civilization games at this point. Tell me in the comments if you got that reference, by the way. Anyway, it was a bit forced, but I played Civ 6. That was about it, because it was free on Epic Games. Anyways, people have actually started realizing that brain dance is a super annoying factor when you're looking at trailers, because literally anything could be explained by brain dances. There's no real doubt that we're seeing scenes from Johnny's perspective. For brain dances, the person experiencing the brain dance, the person recording it has to actually, press the record button, right? Like this video, I had to press a record button to start. I clicked start, which made me start recording it, obviously. The brain dance theories for what Johnny's going through fall a little short, in my opinion, but we'll get into that in a sec. The other explanation that you could give is that since Johnny Silverhand is in your head, he can show stuff from his memories, revealing his memories to you through which makes a bit more sense than brain dances, because Silverhand was given a larger role in the game they first wanted. So I could see the possibility that at the start it was supposed to be learning Johnny Silverhand's narrative through brain dances, but now it's kind of scaled more to his memories, just because the relic is it's a prototype, right? So you can introduce any type of new mechanic or new ways of thinking about stuff, because it's not established in the already lore. You're free to make whatever you want out of that. This is all Cyberpunk. This is CD Projekt Red's own creation. This isn't like Mike Pondsmith, the creator of that entire universe's creation. Where were we? Oh yes, yeah, he was given a bigger large in the game, a bigger role in the game than they first wanted because he enjoyed it. Keanu Reeves, that is, and he wanted to be more involved. Him just commenting on a brain dance would just be awkward. He'd be like, "Yeah, V, I remember that. Good times." And two, who's keeping these brain dances? What we've been seeing is key story points from 2020. V was born like what, mid 2050s. These are things that V has no. I mean, actually, I think V was born 2057, but then you can kind of muddy that if you really go through it, because he is 22 years old at the time of Cyberpunk 2077. You could be like, oh, 1 month easy button. Just okay, we're not going that far. These are things that V has no real major idea about or major knowledge about. Like we've said in previous videos, you can't expect people to read up on the lore and research it outside of the actual game. If something in the lore is important for the game to make sense, it has to be specifically in the game. It's why Fallout re-explains their super mutants every single game. Regardless, really, the question of what happened in the Arasaka Tower probably won't be explained though, because even if it's Johnny sharing his memories or a brain dance of Johnny, Johnny dies before the real questions start rising there. And also, there's the thing where when is it? It's a digital construction, a digital copy of Silverhand, but when is that digital copy actually taken? Like, does he even know that he's dead? Is the type of question that's really rising, because I don't think he was taken after he was gone during the Arasaka heist. Well, Arasaka, not really a heist. Militech attacking Arasaka. Well, it kind of is a heist. You know what? Militech attack Arasaka. That's all we're going for it. You could really go whichever way you want. You can call it a heist if you want to. I don't really care. And also, why would Johnny be recording brain dances? I don't know. It just kind of seems like he'd be a celebrity that would kind of like sing about his experiences rather than actually, allowing you to experience them. Because brain dances are usually to make a quick buck. And then can't you just make a quick buck by, performing a show? I mean, we even saw he pulled giant crowds. I guess the takeaway here is that who on earth would have this large collection of key brain dances in Johnny's life? If it were brain dances, really, but the last thing we want to go over. Yeah, no, it's not a 20+ minute insane backflip through punch vids today. I don't really have control about how long a video is. It's as long as there's stuff to talk about, really. And last thing we want to go over real quick is because the game's an RPG, Arasaka can't be the big bad. Is that true? Yesterday we went over the punk genre and why that doesn't mean you can't actually make it big. So RPGs don't have infinite choices or insane branches that branch on top of each other, that branch and branch that branch. That's something like Detroit Become Human. There's a limit how far you could really go, because the player has to reach specific story intersection points. Now, this is for the main plot. I'm talking about the main plot, not like side plots or no. Oh my god, this is the annoying thing. Like, they call their stuff a lot. I'm not talking about the main missions or the side missions, because the side missions include factions, which is going to tie back into the main game. Not including those types of missions. I'm talking about the other types. Yeah. They really did it to me. By making the thing that I usually say called side missions, not actually what side missions are. So you have to reach specific story intersection points, whichever way you want to think about it, I guess. And the easiest ways of doing that is just having a clear bad guy. I mean, every RPG I can think of has had a bad guy. The entire Fallout series, The Outer Worlds, The Elder Scrolls, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I wish that game gets a sequel. I actually really enjoyed Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, etc. Now, you could go ahead and point out games like Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds as outliers, as games that, hey, what do you mean you had a bad guy? I could side with the bad guy. What Flix, what are the bad guys? You could side with anyone. Those games were actually made by a similar company, you could say, similar devs type thing. Pretty much the same people. They follow the structure where the entire game is more or less the same until you make the choice of good or bad. Outer Worlds is a really good example of that, because it didn't really have the budget of a AAA game, so I had to kind of tone it down a bit. where the entire game was the same thing until you got to the very end where you decide to go with corporation or save the colony. Both have a clear bad faction still, even though you can side with like the bad faction. Fallout New Vegas had Caesar's Legion. I don't think we need to explain why they were the bad guys. You'd probably find videos arguing they were the good guys. And the Admirals had the, I would have probably been one of the people to argue they were the good guys, just because you could argue the unpopular opinions sometimes. You just have to. You have to state facts. And the Outer Worlds had the board, which wanted to freeze people pretty much. Even I couldn't find a way to spin the board as good guys. I mean, I was going for a board run until they told me to wipe out the settlement that I spent the entire early game helping. I was like, bruh, seriously? I spent so much time helping this faction, this settlement, and you want me to go wipe it? I'm not doing that. Send somebody else. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Having a clear bad guy that you can't side with actually removes that cheese mechanic of technically having the same game until like a couple good or bad choices and the game branches off to a clear bad route and a clear good route. It lets the game branch more pretty much because you're still following the same story really. I think that entire good versus bad narrative it's definitely gonna be against Arasaka though. Like I don't see them spinning Arasaka as good. I really don't see that. Just because even the corporal life path you're kinda being, effed over by Arasaka really. So if they manage to spin Arasaka as, humane or moral, dude, I'd make an entire 10-minute video just clapping for that. I promise you. If they somehow spin Arasaka as being good, quote me on that. When the game releases and if Arasaka's good, I'll make a 10-minute video just clapping. So I actually accidentally pressed delete on my outro. Don't worry. I hopefully I remember it now by brain. So we're at we're almost at a 20-minute video. Who would have thought? We're at like a pretty long video. I recall there was a question today which we've forgotten twice in a row. Good job to us. So we're not upgrading our assistant pigeon. He actually deserves a quick little applause. Just a quick little applause. My assistant pigeon has been working so hard to carry all those comments across the oceans, across the nether realm was what I was supposed to say, but we made a mistake because we have to make at least one mistake every one of these videos. Of course, you've made it this far, so you've enjoyed the video. So why not leave a thumbs up and subscribe? Little secret tell you. More likes and subs means more content. You want more content? You've enjoyed this content, so subscribe and like. It isn't that hard. Nudge, nudge, pieces. Yeah, it's amazing. Post outro. I don't know if I consider myself lazy or workaholic right now because I could sit and make multiple vids in a day. But when I do that, I get super lazy for the rest of the week. I like the type that has to record, edit, and upload thumbnail, all the things that go with making a video every single day, like a set schedule, or I just don't have the motivation to do it. That's just how it is. Like now, it's like when I hit the time to record, I'm like, okay, all right, time to start working on a vid. Instead of being like, oh man, I gotta record. But that's probably gonna be the same actually, because I'm gonna say, hey, I'm making videos while playing Cyberpunk when it comes out. Anyways, peace. Stay amazing, but I would say stay amazing, but you're already amazing, so you already know that, so why would I say that? Exactly, get exposed.